Jesus.
We'll go ahead and start with in-person questions and go to
It's going to
Zoom.
be bigger and then the red card.
Then the game got interesting, and then everybody shut up.
Just the situation itself, you're 3-1 down, and it might be over, then you are 3-3, walk through the emotions of the whole last 20 minutes.
I thought it was an intriguing game, actually. I thought because of they sat so low for good stretches, and when they extended themselves, they didn't win a lot of balls high. But when they sat so low and just really kind of bogged us down, and were able to keep us in front of them so much, and we made probably three, maybe four big mistakes, and got punished for those decisions and those mistakes. And we spent a lot of the game trying to figure out how to turn possessions into something that looked like a chance, or at 3-1 it felt like it was going to be difficult, but we were trying to make some subs and trying to get some guys into positions where we could whip some balls in the box, do something to try to create some numbers up in the box and some action ahead of the ball, so that we could try to find a way to break through the wall that they had set up there. So I'm proud of the guys that came on and just kept working through it. These games are crazy always, so in a rivalry game or any game, you never give up. These games specifically have always had a way to have some crazy in them, and didn't disappoint there at the end. But I saw some things as we were sitting on the side, like trying to get Mauricio in because he's such a good server of the ball in those wide positions, trying to get an extra body up there, up top. With whether it was Christian or Nasi, is trying to get another guy up, because a lot of times Jesus was sometimes dropping in and looking like a back five, and then sometimes he would step out. But whenever he went into a back five, we just didn't have numbers up against him, and so it was an interesting game. I found it tactically intriguing, and again, there wasn't a ton of shots in the game overall, but the ones that were taken, a lot of them went in the goal, so it made for an interesting night. So and the intensity was there for the fans, and I think it was I'm glad our guys just kept fighting till the end, and they found a way through.
Even at 3-1, it seemed to be you had guys on there arguing with each other. I'm sure you probably saw it as well, but
yeah,
did it sort of galvanize the group a little bit, you think?
Yeah, possibly, because sometimes I feel like a little fight, a little passion, a little something in there can just spur up a little bit more energy, a little more intention, a little more purpose, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I've seen that particular situation before, but the group, we got more intention to try to break lines and to try to finish our attacks as we started chasing the game a little bit more. I felt like we started to, I didn't want to say take risk in the final action, but try to run through the line, play through the line, see if we couldn't break down the group that was keeping us in front of them all game. And I felt like guys started to do that. They started to move off of each other and not just pass and stand, but guys started to move off of each other, and seams started to show up. And then obviously when they take a red card, that means that there's just a little bit more space on the field. They lost one of their center backs, which means they're probably going to be a little bit smaller in the back, and then Maya going up high means we're bigger in the box, and so there's just minuscule advantages that we were able to take advantage of at the end to get ourselves back into it.
Greg, you mentioned post Austin that you didn't really like the intensity out of the team that day. Was this the proper kind of response? Is this what you were looking for out of the team after that loss?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting game, because I think when a team sits like that on you and they're very comfortable doing that, it takes a little bit of the intensity out of the game at times, versus two teams that are pressing and going at each other. But I definitely thought as the intensity was there, it was just hard sometimes, I think, to see it, because the way the game played out through stretches of the game. Obviously in transition, they're so good. You make a mistake, a bad decision in transition, and it's costly. But I thought when the game continued and pressed on, I felt like I think the concentration and the appropriate intensity was there, but obviously it got to a different level of sort of passion and intensity down the stretch, and that was. You don't want to always be on that edge, but as I said to our guys, we need to be on the edge today. We need to be smart and not get over the edge, but we need to be on the edge of having kind of Derby intensity in ourselves. And I think it came to life as the game continued to progress.
Talk about the mentality to fight back from 3-1.
Yeah, I was really impressed. Again, I think the group they believe in themselves, they believe in each other, they believe in what we're doing. Again, we've got to find ways to not put ourselves in holes and to give up goals in some of the ways that we give up goals, make a little bit better choices. But I think, the group feels like they have the tools out there when they get going, if they can solve some of the problems in the game and finish the chances that they get, that they can stay in it. And we saw it today. They just kept competing until the end. And when we went to 3-2, then I think the energy really stepped up again. Like, okay, there might be something in there for us, and we found a way. So sometimes you just have to have some things fall your way too. And great cross, great header, and I think the one that Lloris saves a little earlier probably would have been offside. So I'm not sure if that would have stood anyways. So, but that was a good action. But I think we needed to get something out of this game. And the guys fought it.
The decision to start Luca Sanabria instead of Diego, like, what did you see of him, and what do you wonder from Diego in the second half?
Yeah, started Luca. Just he's a little more defensive in nature and combative in the midfield, and we were going to keep our two pivots a little closer to home. And I felt like in transitions he could break up some things. Defensively, having somebody, not just Edwin, but having somebody who can in their possessions when Bouanga's getting one-on-one, who can really work back and try to help on the inside shoulder of our fullback, so that they can try to double team him and keep him to the outside, things like that. So we did it in an effort to try to protect ourselves a little bit defensively. I felt like maybe he was getting a little tired. It's a different type of environment and game that he's been in for this season, and he missed a couple passes, and I think just a little bit of fatigue was setting in, and he was on a yellow card, and so if he's defending in transition moments, I was a little concerned for him in those types of situations. So with Diego, we brought him on. We also tried to adjust our positioning. We pushed Diego a little bit higher and tried to build and get at them a different way by putting more numbers higher. So and then Diego he's been around this league for a long time. He just feels the game in a little bit different way, and so having him out there we were down at that time 1-0. So having him, or 2-0, I can't remember. Was it 2-1 when he came on? Yeah. So just bringing another guy on who has the feel for these types of games. So I thought we needed a bullet in the holster a little bit. So I didn't start all the guys that have been starting lately, so that we had somebody with some experience, some attacking experience to come in, because it was going to be a 90-minute game as it was 97.
The little mini brawl and the way it plays out, you getting man advantage, but it just seemed that out of it, you guys had a spark that they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think the spark is they take a red card, and now the group sees, for us, we see an advantage, one less guy on the field when, the whole day you're dealing with a really low, tight block, and now they have one less guy to put in that low, tight block. Maybe the guys sense there's something in it for us. I think always those situations bring a different kind of intensity and passion into the situation. But them losing a man, I think maybe just opened up just a little bit more space for us to try to take advantage of the situation.
It's kind of a weird thing that you don't really think of. Everyone's getting in there fighting. Who knows who's going to get the cards and stuff? But it's kind of a plus for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is what I was saying earlier. For our guys, it was you got to play on the edge, but you can't go over the edge, because these games, they can have emotion and they can get you. And if you go over there, I mean, Amiro went over the edge, but he went over it on his own teammate, which is different than going after somebody else's teammate, I think. For them, it just wasn't a good decision, and we got penalized for it, and we took advantage of it.
The mistakes that you guys did make that they took advantage of it just led to massive space in behind, and especially the one where Bouanga from his little chip and run. I mean, that's probably about an 85-yard play for him. Yeah,
that one was I think a little bit fluky, if I'm being honest. I don't think that the touch was meant to go to who it went to and how it got there. We were kind of caught stepping forward, and I think the touch meant that the fastest guy was going to get there, and he's usually that guy. We got caught in all three situations. We got caught being over aggressive when we probably needed to be a little more cautious in the situation because of the way the situation played out. And in the first one, Mickey goes pretty far to try to get pressure, and then he gets beat in the one-on-one situation. Now we're really separated, and they hurt us. The second one, Miro gets over aggressive to try to deal with the transition. That opens up a ton of space on the other side, and the third one was the third one. But all three of them are, I think, situations where against a team like this, if you're not in the right position and you're not prepared, you have to remain a little bit cautious. Even though you want to be aggressive, you have to be a little more cautious and maybe drop and not get overextended in those. But we paid for them, and they made the game.
Next, we'll go here, Justin, and
Challenge
to Zoom.
Just on Gabriel Pec, hasn't been the most productive season for him, but gets the brace tonight. What did you like from him tonight?
Just sticking with it, it was hard for him. I think it was hard for him to find space and to really attack and get. I mean, they do an interesting job of when Jesus drops back into the back line, their fullbacks get really aggressive and get tight to the wingers, so it's hard for the wingers sometimes to build any speed at them and really go one-on-one or take them on. And I feel like we tried him on the left, we tried him on the right, and he just kind of stuck with the game, even though I don't think it was his most influential game in some ways. But he was able to, over the course of it, obviously good finish on the penalty, but to stay with it and get the second goal, I just think it's important. Again, these games are all these games in the whole season. Like, it's for him, when he stays on the move, he's very difficult to play against. When he stands and he waits for the ball at his feet to try to build speed, I feel like teams have a way of defending him that hasn't been his most successful. So I think he kept working through the game and trying to find ways. There's times I think he was dropping a little too low and trying to pick up the ball, sometimes really deep. But I think he was just trying to get away from the fullback sometimes so he could try to face forward and get some kind of influence on the game.
We'll go to Josh and then Sophie. One question each, please.
All right. Hey, Greg, just looking at the goals 2 and 3. Is that goal number 2 with Peck scoring that? Is that one of the best goals you guys have scored? And then looking at goal number 3 with Maya Yoshida, a guy who's had so many headers go off crossbars and, just barely go over. What does it mean for him to sort of score that goal?
Yeah, I thought the second goal was just a great team action. Again, something we've seen sparingly. I mean, between Joe and Gabe, two guys who are big parts of those things, each of them only has 1 assist. And so that when you do that, you don't see as many team goals as we were used to seeing last year. But getting that action going, I thought was nice. And for Maya, like you said, I mean, he's gotten his head on a lot of things, and it's a little bit of a Hail Mary, and he gets in the box, and he's able to get one. I know for him, just it's been a battle, and as a team, we've given up a ton of goals, and when you do that, the center backs take a lot of heat, and the back line takes a lot of heat. But for him to today be able to go up to the front and help us to get something out of this game, I'm sure first and foremost he's exhausted. He played all 3 games this week, but I'm sure he's happy to be able to contribute in that way.
And we'll wrap with Sophie on Zoom.
Hey, Greg. A very satisfying point in a heated derby. Would you be a little frustrated, perhaps, by how poor the set pieces were today? Do you think that was an edge that maybe you lost in the game? Felt like it was a little wasteful at times.
Yeah, I think we were disjointed, if I could say, maybe on some of the set pieces. A couple times I felt like we hit them and we weren't even ready for them to be hit. Like, we didn't know who was going to hit them. I felt like the signaling and the attention inside of that, the detail wasn't sharp enough. We opted yesterday, to be fair. These are things we should be good at this time of the year. We should stick with the play calling and stay with it. Normally on -1, if we throw in a couple wrinkles, given who the opposition is, we will train them. Because this is a 3-day and a short turnaround, we actually didn't train them. We tried to do them more through video and less through actual repetitions. Not making excuses, that's just part of it. But I felt like we didn't execute well on those tonight, and those are always an opportunity. And we've been reasonably dangerous on them in the last few weeks, and tonight certainly not.
All right. Thank you for your time, Greg.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to pull it out late, huh?